DateTime interview questions and answers. Beginner means advanced. Introduction. DateTime represents both date and time information together in programming and databases. DateTime is widely used for check scheduling systems, logging, event management, transactions, analytics, distributed systems. DateTime handling includes click, timestamps, time zones, formatting, parsing, data arithmetic, scheduling logic. Common DateTime libraries frameworks include check java.time, check moment.js, check datefns, check pandas. 1 to 20. DateTime basics. What is DateTime? Combination of date and time values. Why is DateTime important? Scheduling, timestamps, auditing, analytics. What is timestamp? Numeric representation of a point in time. What is Unix timestamp? Seconds/milliseconds since January 1st, 1970 UTC. Unix timestamp example 1717000000. What is UTC? Coordinated Universal Time Standard. What is time zone? Regional offset from UTC. What is local time? Time based on local time zone. What is ISO 8601 DateTime format? 2026-06-01 T1030-0. What is DateTime formatting? Converting DateTime into readable string. What is DateTime parsing? Converting string into DateTime object. Common DateTime components: year, month, day, hour, minute, second. What is leap year? Year containing February 29. What is daylight saving time? DST. Seasonal clock adjustment. What is immutable DateTime object? Object that cannot change after creation. Why are immutable DateTime objects useful? Key. Thread safety. Predictable behavior. Java local DateTime example. Local DateTime.now. Python DateTime example. DateTime.now. JavaScript date example. New date. What is epoch? Starting reference point for timestamps. 21 to 40. DateTime operations. What is DateTime comparison? Comparing chronological order. Java DateTime comparison example. Date1 is before date2. What is DateTime arithmetic? Adding, subtracting time values. Add days. Example. Date plus timedella, days 5. What is duration? Time difference between two date times. What is period? Date-based interval, like years, months, days. What is interval? Range between two date times. What is truncation? Removing smaller time units. What is normalization? Standardizing date-time representation. What is time zone conversion? Changing date time between regions. UTC conversion example. As time zone. What is locale-aware formatting? Formatting based on region/language. US DateTime format example. MMDDW.YYYHHMM. European DateTime format example. DDWMMYYY. What is 24-hour format? Time without AM/PM. What is 12-hour format? Time using AM/PM notation. What is DateTime validation? Ensuring valid, correct DateTime values. What is time precision? Smallest measurable time unit. Common precision levels: seconds, milliseconds, nanoseconds. What is monotonic clock? Continuously increasing system clock. 41 to 70. Advanced DateTime concepts. What is time zone offset? Difference from UTC. Time zone offset example. UTC-4. What is DST issue in programming? Missing, duplicated times during clock shifts. What is leap second? Occasional extra second adjustment. What is recurring event? Event repeating on schedule. Daily, weekly, monthly. What is cron scheduling? Time-based automated task execution. Cron example, 012 up. What is DateTime serialization? Converting DateTime into storable, transmittable format. Common DateTime formats. ISO 8601. Unix timestamp. What is deserialization? Restoring DateTime object from stored format. What is NTP? Network Time Protocol for clock synchronization. What is clock drift? System clock gradually becoming inaccurate. What is business DateTime logic? Domain-specific DateTime calculations. What is working hours calculation? Time calculations excluding non-working hours. What is holiday calendar? List of excluded dates. What is fiscal calendar? Financial reporting calendar system. What is age calculation challenge? Leap years and birthdays complicate calculations. What is date-time indexing in databases? Optimizing time-based queries. What is temporal database? Database managing time-based records. What is audit timestamp? Recorded creation update time. What is event sourcing timestamp? Timestamp tracking system events. What is distributed system clock issue? Different servers having inconsistent times. What is logical clock? Event ordering without physical time reliance. What is vector clock? Distributed event ordering mechanism. What is retention policy? Rule controlling data expiration. What is date-time partitioning? Splitting data by time ranges. What is eventual consistency timestamp issue? Ordering distributed events reliably. What is idempotent scheduling? Preventing duplicate scheduled executions. Data indexed by time. 71 to 100. APIs, databases, and best practices. What is Java Modern DateTime API? Java.time package. Why replace old Java Date API? Better immutability and time zone handling. Local DateTime. Date and time without time zone. What is zoned DateTime? DateTime including time zone. What is instant? UTC timeline point. What is Python DateTime module? Standard Python DateTime library. Difficult time zone handling. Common JavaScript DateTime libraries. DateFNS, Luxon, Moment.js. What is SQL DateTime type? Database type storing date and time. SQL DateTime example. Select current timestamp. What is now in SQL? Select now. What is time zone aware DateTime? DateTime including time zone metadata. What is naive DateTime? DateTime without time zone information. Common DateTime interview topics: time zone handling, formatting, parsing, timestamps, scheduling. Common DateTime problems: DST bugs, time zone confusion, time zone inconsistent formats. Best practices for DateTime handling: store UTC internally, use ISO 8601, avoid manual time zone calculations. Why store UTC in databases? Prevent time zone inconsistencies. What is year 2038 problem? 32-bit Unix timestamp overflow issue. What is DateTime caching issue? Stale time-sensitive data. What is distributed scheduling challenge? Synchronizing tasks across servers. What is time synchronization? Keeping clocks consistent across systems. What is event ordering challenge? Determining correct sequence across distributed systems. What is replay attack timestamp validation? Preventing reuse of old requests. What is expiration timestamp? Time after which data token becomes invalid. What is JWT expiration claim? Ext 1717000. What is scheduling microservice? Service handling timed jobs events. How to become strong in DateTime handling. Click Practice time zone conversions. Click Test DST edge cases. Click Learn UTC deeply. Biggest DateTime interview concept. Time zone safe and consistent time handling. Key DateTime interview focus: parsing, formatting, time zone management, scheduling, and distributed time consistency. Why is DateTime handling difficult? Time zones, DST, leap years, distributed systems, and localization create many edge cases. Final summary. DateTime interviews focus on CI timestamps and UTC, time zone handling, formatting and parsing, scheduling systems, SQL DateTime operations, serialization, distributed system clocks, event ordering. Key idea: strong developers understand reliable time zone safe DateTime handling, scheduling logic, distributed system time consistency, and UTC-based architecture.